The GW Development Concept, created and presented by Joseph Crandall for President Thomas LeBlanc during the spring of 2018. This presentation covers an in-depth, long-term campus development concept for the George Washington University. The development is broken into abstract time steps, where each abstract time step of the development concept presents a list of actions to be completed, but does not specify a timeline of dates, as this is outside of the scope of this concept. The concept allows for continuous development without interrupting day-to-day university activities or creating homelessness for institutes while their new facilities are under development. The goals of the concept are as follows. Create a new center of campus equivalent in scale to Franklin Square on K Street. Improve the parity of GW facilities by moving departments, students, and institutes out of old, renovated spaces and into new facilities tailor-built to their needs. And expand GW's ability to attract talented students and faculty through new facilities and a center of campus that evokes grandeur and academic preeminence. This is an aerial view of George Washington University in early 2018. All of the buildings and spaces that are affected by the Kogan Plaza development concept are represented by a two-dimensional geometric footprint. These footprints are color-coded based on the following key. Blue represents a GW academic building, yellow represents a GW residential building, orange represents a GW campus life building, purple represents a building not owned by GW, gray represents a GW vacant building or parking lot, red represents a demolished building, none are currently shown, green represents a new Kogan Plaza quadrant, none are shown in time step 0. The Kogan Plaza development concept affects 24 buildings in an area spread out over 5 city blocks. Begin by emptying and demolishing the parking lot at the intersection of H Street Northwest and 20th Street Northwest. Construct a new dorm at the intersection of H Street Northwest and 20th Street Northwest, replacing the parking lot adjacent to the American Association of People with Disabilities and Union Chapel. This is a mixed-use dorm with 2 floors of parking below ground, 2 floors of below-ground student life space with area reserved for student occupants of 2145 G Street, including GW Athletics and GW Emergency Response, ground floor retail with area reserved for the GW Deli, 2 floors of student life space above ground with area reserved for the occupants of 2127 G Street, including the multicultural and LGBT student centers, with 8 floors of dormitories above the student life space, culminating with 4 floors below ground and 10 floors above ground. In its current state, the new dorm is empty. During this time step, the occupants of Sampson Hall vacate and move to Stoughton Hall. The occupants of Madison Hall vacate and move to the new dorm. The occupants of 2145 G Street vacate and move to the new dorm. GW Deli vacates the original building on G Street and moves to the new dorm. During this time step, demolish Sampson Hall. Construct the new academic building, starting at H Street Northwest and 21st Street Northwest and running parallel with H Street until it meets flush with Lerner Hall, effectively placing a new building on the north side of University Yard. The academic building has 4 floors of parking below ground, 2 floors of basement, 4 floors above ground in the areas previously occupied by Sampson Hall, and 6 floors above ground in the space previously occupied by the north edge of University Yard. The second floor basement contains reserved space for a theater and dance studio. The building also incorporates first floor archways for foot traffic into and out of University Yard. In its current state, the new academic building is empty. Next, demolish 2145 G Street. Demolish GW Deli original building on G Street. Occupants of Stoughton Hall vacate and move to new academic building. Occupants of the Institute for Corporate Responsibility and Center for Real Estate and Urban Analysis at 2131 G Street Northwest vacate and move to new academic building, and occupants of the Theater and Dance Studio at 2131 G Street Northwest vacate and move to the new academic building. Occupants of Academy for Classic Acting at 2129 G Street Northwest vacate and move to the new academic building. Occupants of the Graduate School of Education and Human Development at 2129 G Street Northwest vacate and move to new academic building. Occupants of the Multicultural Student Services Center and LGBT Center at 2127 G Street Northwest vacate and move to the new dorm. Occupants of 2125 G Street Northwest Psychology Department vacate and move to the new academic building. Occupants of Monroe Hall at 2115 G Street Northwest vacate and move to the new academic building. Occupants of Hall of Government at 710 21st Street Northwest vacate and move to new academic building. Demolish Madison Hall. Demolish parking lot at intersection of H Street and 23rd Street. Construct the new mixed-use library occupying the former site of Madison Hall and the parking lot at the intersection of H Street Northwest and 23rd Street Northwest. The building will have a built-in firehouse with an exit onto 23rd Street similar to the West End firehouse built under Squash on Fire. The new mixed-use library building contains 4 floors of below-ground parking, 2 floors of basement space, and 8 floors of above-ground library, institute, and organization space. This is an SEH caliber building. In its current state, the new mixed-use library is empty. Next, occupants of engine number 23 DCFC vacate and move to the new mixed-use library firehouse. Occupants of the University Honors Program and Global Women's Institute and Office for International Programs Enrollment Retention at 714 21st Street South Northwest vacate and move to new mixed-use library space. Occupants of Gelman Library vacate and move to new mixed-use library. Occupants of Religious Peace Studies at 2106 G Street Northwest vacate and move to new mixed-use library space. Occupants of American Studies at 2108 G Street Northwest vacate and move to new mixed-use library space. Occupants of Anthropology Department at 2110 G Street Northwest vacate and move to new mixed-use library space. Occupants of Anthropology Department at 2112 G Street Northwest vacate and move to new mixed-use library space. Occupants of Cisneros Hispanics Leadership Institute English for Academic Purposes and Anthropology Department at 2114 G Street Northwest vacate and move to new mixed-use library space. Demolish Old Stoughton Hall. Demolish Old Institute for Corporate Responsibility and Center for Real Estate and Urban Analysis at 2131 G Street Northwest and demolish Old Theater and Dance Studio at 2131 G Street Northwest. Demolish Old Academy for Classical Acting at 2129 G Street Northwest and demolish Old Graduate School of Education and Human Development at 2129 G Street Northwest. Demolish Old Multicultural Student Services Center and LGBT Center at 2127 G Street Northwest. Demolish Old 2125 G Street Northwest Psychology Department. Construct Quadrant 1 of new Kogan Plaza. Next, demolish Old Engine Number 23 DCFC. Demolish Old Monroe Hall at 2115 G Street Northwest. Demolish Old Hall of Government at 710 21st Street Northwest. Demolish Old University Honors Program and Global Women's Institute and Office for International Programs Enrollment Retention at 714 21st Street Northwest. Construct Quadrant 2 of new Kogan Plaza. Demolish Old Gelman Library. Construct Quadrant 3 of new Kogan Plaza. Demolish Old Religious Peace Studies at 2106 G Street Northwest. Demolish old American Studies at 2108 G Street Northwest. Demolish old Anthropology Department at 2110 G Street Northwest. Demolish old Anthropology Department at 2112 G Street Northwest. Demolish old Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute English for Academic Purposes and Anthropology Department at 2114 G Street Northwest. Construct the new auditorium and rehearsal center along G Street between Strong Hall and G Street mid-block pedestrian walkway. The new performance center is equivalent to 6 stories in height with 2 levels of basement for Performing Arts Rehearsal Center. The loading dock for the new performance center is adjacent to Strong Hall. However, there is no subterranean parking because there is no obvious place for cars to park to enter the parking garage. In its current state, the new auditorium and rehearsal center is empty. Occupants of the Lisner Auditorium vacate and move to new auditorium and rehearsal center. Demolish old Lisner Auditorium. Construct Quadrant 4 of new Kogan Plaza. Although the new Kogan Plaza will be built sequentially over a period of time, a final concept for the complete plaza prior to the start of Quadrant 1 will result in a seamless final layout. What follows is a potential new Kogan Plaza layout. By relocating the GW Rotunda to the southwest corner of the new Kogan Plaza while keeping the Hippo in the northeast corner and adding an additional 5 gates for a total of 8 on the corners and mid-block, with gates connected via wrought iron fencing, allowing all walkways to converge with lawns covering the remainder, the potential layout emphasizes sunlight and open space while providing easy access to all corners of campus, but allowing the space to be used for outdoor university functions through access control at the 8 gates. However, since the new Kogan Plaza will be the center of GW, a place for all current campus and community members to utilize and enjoy, as well as for alumni to visit, it is only just that these individuals be involved in the design process. And through this effort, we may help strengthen our community through a piece of common ground. Actions and questions. In order to judge the interest of this concept and if it can be integrated into GW's current 2007 campus plan, it is necessary to present the Kogan Plaza development concept to GW Planning. No timeline or funding thoughts have been applied to this concept. What would be required to take this concept and turn it into an actionable development plan? Please leave your thoughts in the comments section. Thank you, and raise high.